The American people have spoken, okay? We don't like DEI. We like a merit-based society. The person who is more personable, the person who has more talent, the person who has the skill set gets the job. That's what we believe as Americans. What Democrats want you to believe is without diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, Black people will be left behind. And so you have to ask yourself, well, how in the world have Black people run companies and got promoted and all this kind of stuff before DEI came into the view? Listen to this, because he's about to try to sell you some snake oil.
President Trump and Elon Musk are, as you know, taking sweeping steps to reverse DEI initiatives across the United States. The president says he's actually protecting civil rights and making society, quote, colorblind and merit-based. Your response?
This is stunning to me, especially because they're really charging this word DEI as if it's something that undermines the ability for the government to hire the best people. It's actually the opposite of that. When we're trying to hire the best of the best, having a more inclusive search to go to HBCUs or Hispanic serving institutions to find as big of an applicant pool as possible, to me, these are the kind of things that help us to hire the best of the best. What Donald Trump is doing is successively.
He wants you to believe that without DEI, you can't hire from HBCUs. That doesn't make any sense to me. But why can't you do that? I mean, why do you need DEI to be in position in order for you to go to a HBCU and get the best of the best and the brightest? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why can't you just hire them? And by the way, if they are the best of the best, if they have the high marks, if they're the person that's more gregarious, that's the person that's more articulate, that guy, that gal is going to get the position. The thought that a company finds a person who has all the marks, who everyone likes, they seem to get along with everyone, but you can't hire her or him because, well, they're the wrong color. That's what they want you to believe. I'm telling you, that's not reality. Okay, it isn't reality. This is stunning, but they know they're losing. They know they're losing, and so they're desperately trying to sell you this snake oil.
Lying to people under the guise of some noble ideal. But I remind people, as he talks about being a great government cutter, the last time the American budget was balanced, the last time we eliminated a deficit and began to reduce our debt was under Bill Clinton, who brought a plan to Congress and worked in partnership to lower costs. The person who is the biggest waste, fraud, and abuser, we know this objectively, the person who created the biggest profligate spending and hole in our budget was Donald Trump in his first term, who raised our deficit more than any modern president. And so
Senator,
we have to understand what's happening here. Okay, go ahead.
Senator, I'm sorry, I just want to turn back to this issue because of the EI, because you just described from your perspective and a lot of people's perspectives, you know, in a nonpartisan way, some of the good things that DEI programs do. But you know, because you are in charge of Senate Democrats messaging, that that's not the perception of a lot of Americans, thanks in part to social media and the way that it's been perceived, and also perhaps the way Democrats have messaged up until now. Elaine Kamarck, who is a longtime Democratic strategist, she co-authored a report on what went wrong, where your party should go from here. She told me this week that Democrats are tone deaf on cultural issues. Is that a problem that you agree with, and should it be changed?
Again, these sweeping conclusions about every person who claims to be a Democrat in America is, to me, absurd. The reality is I work in a caucus of 47 people who have been standing up and fighting for the Americans in their state as best as they can. when they stand up and say hiring processes should be inclusive of women and minorities who often don't get an opportunity to apply for the jobs because the search parameters are so narrow and so.
Hang on a second. The search parameters are so narrow, Black people are not being considered. The search parameters are so narrow. Now, of course, she's not going to push back. And so when you say that, what are you using as a search parameter? What search engine are you using? Because I mean, no, I just would like him to put some meat on those bones. He said that the search parameters are so narrow. What are you talking about? You must not be talking about Google, because that's like all inclusive. So what exactly are you talking about? The search parameters are so narrow. What do you mean by that?
Small, that we should look at ways of searching our college campuses for better talent, making sure that we have diverse teams. Why? Because everybody from the Harvard Business School to some of our biggest consultants have shown that diverse teams are more successful at delivering missions. Private sector institutions understand this.
For those of you who don't know, I used to be a paralegal, okay? And as a paralegal, I hang out with a lot of attorneys. And in this firm, there were, groups. You have a partner, you have a voting partner, and then a junior partner, and then you have associates, and then you have the, legal secretary, and then you got me, the paralegal. And in the group, you always have a leader. There's always going to be. In fact, this is true of family. It's true of corporations. It's true of relationships. There's always going to be a leader. It's just the way that it is. It's part of life. Well, since that's how our firm was like kind of divvied up, these partners and associates and paralegals and secretaries. Well, these groups had distinctive personalities. That's just the way it happens. That every group had a distinct personality. And ours was very, helter-skelter, man. It really was like crazy. And it was constant. Like constant. It was ridiculous. Well, people would talk about who's actually leading each, group. And invariably, everyone figured I was the actual leader. I'm not a partner. I wasn't a partner. I'm not even an attorney. But for whatever reason, they gravitated toward me. They said that guy's the leader. I know he's not the partner. I know he's not making last decisions. That guy's the leader. Why do you think they came to that conclusion? In fact, why do you think I got hired in the first place? Why do you think they even wanted me there? I mean, I don't know if you can see, but I'm Black. Despite what somebody will say. Look at him, shucking and jiving for the white man. I'm telling you, I am Black. And they knew it. So how did I get hired? Because there wasn't diversity. No, hear me out. Because you're not looking for diversity. You're looking for commonality. And the commonality you're looking for is people that actually you can see getting along with the group. That's what you're looking for. You want someone who has the skill set that can get along with the group. You don't want diversity. I'm telling you, it's snake oil. Okay? You don't want diversity. You want commonality. You want people who see the world pretty much the way you see the world. By the way, there were Democrats in the group. There were Republicans in the group. We all had a common goal. We are the ones that we do whatever it needs to. We do whatever needs to be done. We get it done. That was the ethos of the group. There was no way that a black person that was going to apply to that group not get hired because he's black. That's just not how it works out here. It just isn't. He's selling you snake oil. That's just not how it works. He says, oh, no, the search parameters are so narrow. What do you mean? Of course, he doesn't ask. I would love to interview him. Really, what does that mean? The search parameters are so narrow. Who created the search parameters? And by the way, do you have any say-so in those parameters? Is it a search engine? You can't be talking about Google. Are you talking about a different search engine? Do you have a specific pool that you were drawing from? Do you have, let's say that there's a database of all of the colleges that you can glean from. Why don't you just put in HBCUs? You don't need diversity, equity, and inclusion to do that. I'm telling you, this is a ruse. Okay, what DEI is, it's the clever way to make sure we can keep certain people out of the conversation. I'm telling you, that's what it's about. And when Donald Trump says, no, we're going to be more merit-based, you see, and what Booker doesn't want to tell you is that, well, black people don't put a high premium on education. In fact, you'll be lambasted if you actually speak English properly. We're the only ones who do that. Maybe Latinos do it, maybe. If they do, I'm not familiar, but black people do it relentlessly. You speak English properly, you are going to be lambasted. That's just the way that it is. I'm not kidding. So see, he doesn't want to tell you what's actually, this is my philosophy. I have 3 big ticket items, okay? My big ticket items are out of wedlock pregnancy rate, crime, and fatherless homes. Those are my 3 big ticket items. So whenever we're talking about any brand new program and any new this or new that, I want to know, does it push the needle in one of those 3, what we colloquially call the black community? If it doesn't, I'm not interested. Diversity, equity, and inclusion doesn't help black people. They want you to believe that without that, and I'm telling you, go look at the dropout rate from colleges and look who leads the category of dropping out of college. Go look at it. You think I'm not making stuff up. It's because we don't put a high premium on getting good grades in school. We put a high premium on twerking. That's why do you think Kamala Harris would bring in Beyonce? That's because that's what we do. You want black people to vote for you, you got to bring in, what was that, the stallion or whatever? That's what you need if you want black people to come. See, when that changes, then we'll be on the road. Until that changes, this is all snake oil. All right, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.